Want to play Pictomancer on release? Here's a quick rundown, complete with rotation guidance and hotbar setup assistance. Pictomancer is a caster DPS with lots of resources to manage and juggle, but it more than makes up for the effort with huge burst potency. Like Black Mage, it doesn't have a combat raise, but it trades this for fantastic utility and support. If you're up to the challenge, let's get you painting. To start with, let's go over the palette gauge. Your main bread and butter damage source is your light paint combo. Casting Fire in Red, or its AoE version, Fire in Red 2, will change the same button into Arrow in Green, and then Water in Blue. Finishing this combo with Water in Blue will grant you 25 palette gauge, and 1 white paint. You can spend white paint on Holy in White, an instant cast GCD with inbuilt AoE. You can spend 50 palette gauge on Subtractive Palette, an OGCD that allows you to execute dark versions of your spells. Instead of your light paint combo, red, green and blue, you may cast your dark paint combo, Blizzard in Cyan, Stone in Yellow, and Thunder in Magenta. These spells have a longer cast time than their light counterparts, but have higher potency. Again, this combo is on 1 button. Additionally, if you have white paint saved when you press Subtractive Palette, 1 white paint will be converted into black paint, which can be spent on Comet in Black, another instant cast GCD, but with higher potency than Holy in White. The palette gauge changes color when you press Subtractive Palette, to let you know that you should be pressing your dark paint combo without having to stare at your hotbar. That's the palette gauge. Cast light spells to build gauge, spend gauge to cast dark spells, repeat. Next, the canvases. Canvases can be painted on with motif spells. Motifs have a long cast time in combat and also do not have any potency when cast. However, these are for setting up for huge damage later, so you absolutely want to cast them anyway. Once you have a motif on a canvas, you can spend a corresponding muse to bring the motif to life. Spending the muse is an OGCD, and each muse is very different, so let's go over them one by one. Creature muses have a maximum of 3 charges. On a 40-second cooldown, you have 4 possible creature motifs, which rotate in the same order every time: Palm, Wings, Claw, and Fang. Paint a motif, then execute the Living Muse OGCD to deal a high potency attack. These muses are saved above your creature canvas when cast. After bringing Palm and Wings to life, you get to cast Mog of the Ages, another high potency OGCD, and after bringing all 4 to life, Mog of the Ages turns into Retribution of the Medivh, a higher potency OGCD. Your Weapon Muse has 2 charges on a 60-second cooldown. Cast a Weapon motif in order to bring Steel Muse to life. Steel Muse turns into Striking Muse, which doesn't deal upfront potency, but allows you to cast 3 Hammer spells. These are instant cast GCDs, slowly ramp up in potency, and they are guaranteed critical and direct hits. Your Landscape Muse is your 2-minute cooldown. Cast Landscape motif to execute Starry Muse, which paints a landscape circle on the ground and produces a variety of effects. First, a party-wide damage buff. Second, a free use of Subtractive Palette without needing to meet the gauge requirement. Third, 5 stacks of a buff that increases your spell casting speed while you are inside your landscape circle. Watch out, if you're outside of the circle, you won't get this haste buff, but you will still consume the stacks. Consuming all 5 stacks allows an instant cast of Rainbow Drip, a high potency GCD that gives you 1 white paint, and normally has a much slower cast. And finally, a buff that allows you to cast Star Prism, another high potency instant cast GCD with an inbuilt party-wide heal. That's all for canvases and the damage rotation. Make sure you're painting motifs outside of damage buffs, as well as during downtime, such as between mob packs and dungeons, and make sure you spend muses when you have them. As bonus utility, you also have Smudge, a forward dash similar to Unavant that gives you a movement speed buff, as well as a personal shield that you can spread to your entire party if you wish. Here's a visual guide to assist you with hotbar setup. Feel free to pause when necessary. As a reminder, all footage shown here is from a pre-release build, and all actions, final potencies, etc. are subject to change. I hope this serves as a good starting point for you. Happy painting!